Yeah, so Raquel, it's been a couple months now since your fight. Just how are you feeling now that you've had a bit of time to reflect and just look back and maybe see what you did right, wrong, all those different things?
I don't think it's anything that you can learn right for wrong with that fight. It's kind of a frustrating thing because coming back from such a long layoff, of course you don't want to go into a fight and it turn out that way. But I went into a fight and I thought that everything was great, and the first strike thrown in there was Amanda's kick to my leg, and it was a game changer for sure. So it just kind of put me in a defensive mode the whole entire fight, and it became a frustrating night. Sitting back on it, it's just I got to take a little bit more time and do things right, and so I've just been kind of enjoying life. I stepped back from everything, went on some vacations, and just completely got out of the whole gym scene. And I think that's the best thing that I could have done mentally, physically, and emotionally.
Yeah. So how's your health right now?
Health is good. Put on a lot of happy weight, so now it's time to get back on the grind.
Was the leg kick to your surgically repaired leg?
Yeah, it was. She hit dead on right where I had all the nerve damage and right where the break was at. So that initial first kick, as soon as I fell, I went to go stand back up, and I felt like it was broke all over again. And then she hit it a second time, and I've had broken bones, I've had torn muscles, I've taken cuts in fights, and through all that you can work through it. But let me tell you, when it's a nerve damage that's done, that's all that was registered to my brain.
I mean, obviously it's a fight and anything goes in that sense, but you guys have a close relationship too. I'm not sure how much knowledge she had of the significance of your injury. Do you think she went in there thinking I'm gonna attack that point because maybe that's where she could be vulnerable?
A fight's a fight, and Amanda did what she had to do to keep her belt. And of course everybody knew about it. We were originally supposed to fight the first time in December, and of course I had to pull from that fight when my injury first initially happened. So it was no secret. But it was frustrating.
Is that something that you knew could be a problem for you in the fight, that leg?
I have to honestly say that I think I was just really antsy. I went on the 18 months of recovering from surgeries, so just getting back, I really just wanted to get back and do things. And when I was finally cleared to actually get back into training, I just took it as clearance for everything, and I went full blast with everything. And when I sat back and actually looked on things, I was talking to Tisha, I was talking to my coaches, and it's kind of frustrating because, I used to be able to go and just kick things, do a lot of shin conditioning, and it was fine. I didn't have to wear shin guards, and I like to train a lot without shin guards. But that camp, I actually refused to train without a shin guard because it just hurt. It would always bruise. And so I think I was just kind of ignoring a bunch of things.
You just said yesterday that you're trying to fight on the UFC Denver card. Is that correct?
Yeah.
She kind of made that announcement for you.
Yeah, I guess she's my management now. But I would like to fight on that card. I haven't fought in my hometown or home state in probably 8 years. So I think it would be fun just to hang back and do it there.
Do you have an opponent in mind?
I have a few opponents. I would like to find somebody in front of me again, but at the end of the day, every girl brings a different challenge to the table. Honestly, I think it would be fun to fight Cat Zingano just because of the fact that we're both Colorado girls here, and so I think that would be fun.
What do you think of Cat's last performance?
Honestly, I didn't get a chance to see it. It's still recorded on DVR, so I gotta go back and watch that. But we were doing something for all her fight stuff, and right now it's been Tisha's fight camp, and that's what we've been focused on. So.
And what are you expecting with Tisha on Saturday against Joanna? Obviously, she needs this win just as much as Joanna does.
I couldn't be more excited for Tisha's fight. I just feel that she's really in a different place mentally and physically too. She's always been ripped, but she's leaner than I've ever seen her, and she's just, she's been zoned in. I think she really has her mind made up on where she wants to be in this fight and what she wants to do, and I think once a fighter makes up their mind with that, it's a dangerous thing, so I'm just excited.
Do you feel like Joanna has been underestimating her? She's been talking about how she's going to get the title shot next and all this stuff. Do you feel like she's maybe overlooking her?
One thing that I've always said about Joanna is the fact of her confidence. I love the confidence that she carries, and it doesn't matter if she loses or what happens, that seems to never break. But I think that she underlooks a lot of her opponents, and I think that's exactly what she's doing with Tisha.
Amanda is Amanda is probably going to fight Cyborg next, moving up to 145 and doing a super fight, which kind of leaves the 135 belt not defended. Does that hurt the division, or is that kind of a bummer for some of the people who are contenders in the 135 division?
I feel like they're doing so much with all these interim belts and fighters going every other way with fighting for belts into different divisions and everything else. And so right now, I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, it's a super fight that everybody wants to see, and I think for me, I want to focus on the next step of my career. I want to get back in the win streak and eventually get back up there for that title. So, I mean, I don't really know.
How would you see that fight playing out, Nunes versus Cyborg?
Honestly, I think it's going to be a very exciting fight. Nobody's invincible, and I mean, Cyborg, I don't feel like she's had like extremely. I don't really know how to put it because I don't want to take away from anybody. Anybody who's here, I mean, they deserve to be here, and anybody who steps in that octagon deserves it. You know what I mean? It takes a lot. But I think that Amanda will definitely challenge her, and it'll play for an exciting fight.
Do you think the Cyborg Nunes super fight sort of helps you in your career because it sort of clears the path at bantamweight for another title shot for yourself?
I think obviously she's moving up and she's going to fight Cyborg, but I think that at the end of the day, Amanda's still a champion in our division. So it's kind of one of those things to where I got to go step by step in my own career. And my next stepping stone is just take another fight, get another win, put on a good performance, and then, go from there.
Did the fight with Nunes at all affect your relationship with her, now after it's over, or is it, sort of what it was like before the fight?
No, I mean, we met because of the sport, and we knew that day would always come, so it's just kind of one of those things to where it's business in the octagon, friendship on the outside. So, I mean, obviously they're here because Nina's fighting on the same card this Saturday, and we've already been hanging out and seeing each other and stuff, so we still have our friendship.
Some awkwardness, though, there?
It's not awkward. I want to smack her, or maybe kick her leg as hard as she kicked mine. No, it's not awkward.
I asked Tisha the same question. I mean, the experience you went through challenging for the title, just being at the biggest pinnacle of the sport, her going into the biggest fight of her career now, is there any wisdom you can kind of impart on her just from what you went through on that experience of being in a title fight?
I think when it comes to Tisha, or even when it comes to any fighter, I think it's just all about embracing the journey. It's just about having fun, and I mean, she's in a position that everybody wants to be in. I highly believe that this fight, whoever the winner is, they should go up for the world title next. And I've told Tisha from a long time ago, I mean, even before we started dating, I've always been a fan of Tisha. Her fight style, her just grittiness, and she's a tiny tornado for a reason, And so I think it's just all about her just believing in herself, going out there and having fun. And when she's doing that, she's overwhelming. And I tell her that all the time in the gym. Even me being a couple divisions higher than her, she goes against some of the guys that are even bigger than her. But when she starts going and pushing the pace, she's a scary little thing. So, I mean, if she just goes out there and she embraces the moment, has fun, I think she's going to be proud of herself the way that we are.
How do you?
Not to rehash old news too much, but obviously, coming out of that title fight, it's probably an incredibly disappointing situation for you. You have the injuries and stuff, and then there's everyone piling on with the stuff about your coaches and the corner work and stuff. How difficult was that just moment, all that combined for you to get through?
It was a lot to take in. It was overwhelming at first, and then, I mean, like I said, coming back from such a long layoff, going into the biggest opportunity of my fight career this far, and then it turning out the way that it did, and then all of a sudden all the controversy over the coaching and whatnot, I mean, it really just took a huge toll, and I think that's one reason I just chose to completely step away, completely not pay attention to anything that had to do with fighting for a little bit, and just really enjoy life on the outside, so that way I could find a passion and everything again and just kind of have fun with it. The thing with the coaches and everybody looking from the outside, I mean, our coaches are in our corner for a reason, and we build that trust throughout all these years that we've known each other. They know us better than we know ourselves sometimes, and they know the type of athletes that we are. So, in that moment, I was frustrated. I was frustrated in the fight just because of the pain that I was experiencing, the frustration to where I couldn't even step forward with the game plan that we originally had and, fight my fight. And so it was just like I was giving up on myself due to complete frustration, and my coaches didn't let me do that. And if they would have let me do that, I would have been more mad of the fact that I gave up on myself and then they let me give up on myself. So, everything from the outside and the way that everybody sees it, it's just everything always gets blown out of proportion.
What do you learn about yourself going through a fight like that? I mean, as you said, you got hurt the first few seconds of the fight, and then you make it pretty much till the very end. What does that lessons do you take away from that, and just kind of some inner knowledge?
For me, I think that I was talking to my coaches and my family and stuff, and I feel like I've absolutely experienced everything that you could possibly experience in a fight, in your career. I've been through it all, and so there's nothing left to fear, and it's just all about having fun. And I feel like I can't explain it, but I felt like an internal personal shift for me, and so I feel like it helped bring a new mission, and we'll see what the future holds.